Hi everyone, how are you doing? Well, so today I bring you again another audio so we can practice. Um, and the idea is just that you with this audio that just like conversation that you can listen. Actually, it's just me, so not like actually conversation, but that something that you can listen to practice. Probably for the advanced listeners, of course, if you're listening to this point, even if it's just seconds of the audio, you're at least a from medium to up, like advanced or pro if you want or whatever. Because the idea is that you can have an entirely English audio, okay, just maybe with some clarifications of some words if needed in Spanish, I mean. But the idea is that you can have, an extensive audio like the previous one was like 30 minutes, and at first I thought that like it was like too long. But then I just said, well, okay, maybe this can come in handy for someone that is like that wants to practice with long audios, and just that. So today in this audio, my idea, I was just looking at the at these charts, the posts I uploaded previously, and and maybe I just thought taking random. I mean, not actually random, but the topics I mentioned in those posts, like grammar elements, or learning English versus another languages, or keys to improving English, whatever. I'm just gonna, scroll, between these pictures I have, this kind of charts I have, the chart, the post that I uploaded, these pictures with text. So. As I said, just the idea is that you can have, an extensive audio to listen to practice, to practice pronunciation, listening. It's all connected. Of course, you will actually be like, if you just listen to the audio, you will be practicing just listening, but as I said, it's connected. So. Keep in mind that anytime that you listen with precision, if you want, with close attention, maybe that will probably go to your pronunciation later. Okay. So even what I mean is that even if you are listening to me right now and you're not like speaking or copying in the moment what I say, or copying, like repeating, putting stop or pause and repeating what I say. Even if you're not doing that with words or sentences that I'm saying in this audio, you're still practicing. And I kind of taking this topic. This is like one topic. This is part of the idea of this audio that I can give you some tips that if I can say along my English learning journey, which is also connected to another disciplines in a very similar way. But in English particularly, I'm just kind of the idea is that I can share this with you so that you can practice. Have like tools, ways that you can things that you can know, tools and things to improve your English. Okay. For example, the chart about the grammar elements. That chart is in English, so I won't have to translate because others are in Spanish. So it says English grammar, as well as any other language, has many grammar elements which we will mention. Time tense is one of those elements. Okay, so here we're in that chart. I mentioned some grammar elements that I think are the most key ones. Okay, and so that's what I'm reading now. Okay, so for the practice, so it's one element of grammar is time tense. Simple present, simple past, present continuous, etc., etc. Just anything, any time tense you would like to mention. Okay, these are all in the. I think I will try to put when I mix this with pictures. I'm gonna try to put these charts in order according to what I'm speaking. So you should probably see now that chart, the grammar elements chart. Okay. So that is one aspect, that one element of grammar, time tense. Okay. Just like in any other language, but it's something that can give you reference. So to have an idea of which time tenses exist or are mostly used in English in this case, because for example in Argentina particularly we don't use, for example, the perfect tenses too much. We mostly use just either the simple version or if it's the continuous version also, but the perfect versions we don't use that too much, and I think kind of more or less the same in some cases happens between the North American English and the UK English. Probably, I'm not sure about this, but maybe in some proportions, in some bigger proportion, UK English has more they use more the perfect tense, but I'm not sure again. So this is just supposing. Okay, but it's just that about this grammar element, which is time tense. It's something that you will have to study if you want to learn how to express yourself in different time tenses. Of course, talking about this. Okay. Again, just like in any other language, just like in Spanish. All right. So also I gave some tips about this, about how can you learn this. In wordreference.com you have a tool that shows you the conjugation, because of course you're not gonna know that just from the air, or you probably won't find it either in a dictionary, I think. So that's another point I will probably mention. I don't know if in this audio, but maybe I will mention briefly some elements like that. So yes, to learn time tenses, keep in mind that it's important to learn the conjugations. So it's that if you search that, as I said, as an example, online dictionary, like word reference, gives you the conjugations for different time tenses and different pronouns, like I, you, he, she, it, we, you, they. Okay. So well, that's that, and you will probably have to take time to study one and then the other, or maybe you can study 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay. And of course, some of them are pretty much less used than in others. I mean, some of them are more common, like for example, I think I repeated here the past perfect twice. Well, like future perfect, for example. Oh no, I didn't repeat it. It's past perfect continuous. The continuous was below. All right. Maybe that it's not much used tense, past perfect continuous, like it had been raining. That's a common example. But maybe you can hear it every once in a while. But for example, future perfect, maybe that's less common. Like we will have arrived by, I don't know, 2 p.m. We will have arrived. And like something that will have happened in the future. Okay. All right. So going to the next element, other elements, conditionals, if, reported speech, the WH words. You should be seeing the oh yeah, we are in the same chart, but I'm just clarifying that I'm switching to the next point, which is the second one in the chart, other elements. Okay, so here we have many elements, adverbs, they use to, conjunctions, adjectives, verbs, nouns, modal verbs. Well, all these elements are like just more elements that make up the language. Okay. And all right, so it's just like, again, like in Spanish, like conditionals, for example, is, if you're listening to this point, I'm pretty sure you know what a conditional is, or if you didn't know it by the name, when you saw if, you know what if is. Okay. The thing is, there's all these elements, are things that you have in Spanish again, so it's just a way of mentioning them. Maybe you use it all the time. It happens, like, as I mentioned, like with other disciplines, that maybe you're a great English speaker and maybe you're not like aware of all these technical aspects, maybe even myself, I wasn't like too much into all this for some time. Then I just realized that maybe it's practical, mostly for teaching or learning, if you want to for teaching mostly, but for learning oneself, if you would do it like by yourself, it can also help you to like kind of to organize the elements that you have. Okay. Just at least in any case, if not to know that you just read once and know that okay, if is called conditional, or reported speech, when you say someone that someone else said or something like that, that's reported speech, and so on. Okay. The WH words, pronouns, which are all the ones that we use to conjugate. I, we, he, she, it, all those. Verbs, which is another word for actions. Nouns, which is more basically things, and modal verbs, which is can, could, would, may, all those. Adverbs of frequency: always, usually, often, never, etc. I'm adding some. They're not written there. Some the ones just mentioned. Adjectives, like qualities of things. If something is white or blue or any color, any characteristic. Comparatives and superlatives. Bigger or biggest. One is like comparing, another one is telling which is the most. So I'm gonna go up to that part with this. I have, of course, exercises in PDF and stuff, so that you can study more in detail all these elements. Okay, but okay, so it's interesting to have these elements mentioned, because to know what these are, to check maybe the how you use the some words that may be kind of difficult, like the apostrophe s, for saying that it's someone's house, that kind of thing. Or what happens if it's plural? Maybe they still have an s, but then the apostrophe goes after the s, and all those kind of things that might be maybe like a little tricky, if you want. And just have a reference of what those things are, and just study them up to the point where you say, okay, I have this reference. It help, these are they are clearly building blocks that help me study, and okay, so I have adjectives, I have comparatives, I have this and that. Okay, another element more to add to your studying. Okay, so then it says, moving on in the chart, it says it's quite a long list, but when you get to know and simplify these elements that make up English, it can be a good resource to practice what's in the language, of course, and to know them and practice them, knowing how they work when speaking English. Okay, so it's just like an obvious kind of thing, The list is not that long, actually, if we consider that these are just elements, categories. But then, of course, practicing and knowing all of them and putting them together to actually speak English fluently, that's another story. Learning the function of these elements is like knowing the gears of the language. Then the other big part of it would be building vocabulary. Okay, so there I used like a metaphor to talk about these things that I mentioned before, which are actually two elements. Okay, the time tense element and the other elements list, which contains a lot of things. All right, so those two things are the grammar elements that I mentioned, and in this chart. Okay, to address this aspect of learning English. It's just to, as I said in the last paragraph there written, is that you have different elements, as I said, time tense, and the other ones, the other elements, as another group, whatever. But the thing is that is just learning all these things and take it from them the reference and the practice and the study them to improve. It's just that. I'm reading to add to this. Oh yeah, I said like the gears, like a clock that has like gears, engranajes. They like fit one another, and it's like I just mentioned that as a way of saying, okay, pieces that go along one with each other to make up a system, which in this case is a language. Okay, so it's just that, just a simple metaphor. And then I mentioned another big part would be vocabulary. Vocabulary still, without a doubt, something you can just practice over and over again. Have just like the time tenses and all the other elements I mentioned. Okay, I always try to emphasize that you have ways of studying by yourself. If we say just one simple thing like this, okay, just one simple thing like vocabulary, all right, you can take that as something, as one resource for studying that you can invest, if you want, just hours and hours during the week. Having maybe, I think I put this in some other chart, I don't know, in some post, previous post, I think. But anyway, which is to have like a column, or to take some good amount of pages, maybe in a practice book you have, like a common regular a book in blank for practice with the pages in blank, so that you can write in them, or in the computer if you want, of course. And so it's that you can write vocabulary and write all the words that you want, all the words that you heard or that you read that you don't know, or that you more or less remember the meaning. All right, and that's a very effective and interesting exercise, and it's as simple as that. It's really, really simple. It's just you write, as I said, you just write vocabulary. You create a new blank file on the computer. You just put vocabulary, and below that you start writing words. So maybe one day you will have 2,000 or 3,000 words. Maybe one day 4 or 5,000. Who knows? If you keep studying and remembering. Doing sentences with those words, that's another exercise. I think I posted that way of practicing. Yeah, learning 25 words a week. There's a post about it. So in that example, I said that you can as I said, search for words that you want to practice, add to your vocabulary, and I said maybe you can do an exercise where you would write 25 words a week, adding them to your vocabulary, probably to this chart, as I said, or this block note to build your vocabulary and do sentences with these words. So in a week you will learn 25 words, or at least maybe at least practice them once, or sometime maybe a couple of times, and maybe you won't remember all of them if you do that every week for 2 or 3 months, but it's still a way of practicing, and you will have those words in your vocabulary list. that I'm saying you can make. All right. And so I like mentioning these things because sometimes it's just like very not difficult. Well, maybe I say this because I already know the language and speak it and so on. But I mean, as a concept, as a way of trying to give you, to bring you, I always like to simplify and to conceptualize, like trying to compress. Also talking about these elements, and I would mention like the method aspect of learning English and probably any other language, which of course that there are many methods. And also I just think that if you're listening to this point, it's probably because you have like a certain level of English, okay, and it's like a bit pointless or not, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes I heard that there are people that can actually understand some language but not but they can't speak it. Like they can understand it if they just listen to it, but they can't make much sentences. They can understand it by hearing but not speak it, okay, something like that. And it's like, I don't know if that's the case. Maybe this could still be useful to you, or just to keep listening and keep practicing the listening, just that. But anyway, what I was saying is that methods for learning English, and of course probably any other language, there are hundreds or thousands or whatever. In my opinion, what's best for a method is to gather every material, resource, exercise that you can find, and just that, just practice with whatever you can find. That could be from grammar books to I don't know, listening to a song, or watching some YouTube video, or reading. Maybe I think I already gave this tips in the charts I post, like searching things on internet, like any random thing you search on internet, instead of searching it in Spanish, search it in English, so that way you build vocabulary. Plus, of course, it's very, very I would really suggest to have at hand resources like a word reference or stuff like that, like an online dictionary, to check the meaning of probably many words that will you will read that you don't know the meaning of, okay. But all those resources, and I just think it's like about being creative, with all the things you can find to study English. Probably not sure it's a different journey, if you do it by yourself only, or if you study with someone, even like an instructor, if it's an instructor, if just somebody like you study with that also wants to learn English. There are like many options, and to me it's like again, all the things that you can gather to add to the learning. I think that's like the best method.